And we're live. Hello and welcome to the football podcast for Monday, the 22nd of February. I'm joined as always by a certain Adam Galau to discuss the hottest stories surrounding the footballing world.
Hello, Theo. It is a pleasure to be here. And without further ado, let us commence this podcast.
Indeed, in today's edition of the football podcast, we will be covering the Champions League action and Premier League action from the weekend and last week. And along with a few hot topics.
But before we continue, if you are enjoying our content, we would really appreciate a like, subscribe, and if you could turn on the post notification bell, it would be great so that you can know every time we post. Anyway, Theo, I'll hop right into the Premier League results. These were some notable games that we saw, and it starts off with a very painful one for me. Liverpool 0, Everton 2. Worse yet, it was at Anfield. That was a real stinger for me, Theo. We can analyze these briefly after I've covered them. Then the next was West Ham 2, Tottenham 1. Real stinger for Jose Mourinho's side. They have been a bit lackluster as of late, struggling without Kane. But yeah, without Kane in his full flight. And then we also had Arsenal 0, Man City 1. They did put up quite a good fight, but they kind of switched off. They took a while to switch on. Are there any of those that you really want to discuss, Theo, in particular?
Well, I'll just briefly go through each of them. So, Everton, just to put this into perspective, Everton haven't won at Anfield since 1999. So, that was a huge win for the Merseyside Blues. Gilby Sigurdsson and Richarlison getting the goals on that day. And Liverpool are collapsing as of late. They were so good at Anfield, and now they're just like, screw it, let's just not play football anymore. We can't do it, so we're just going to stop playing well. And the body language is going, and it's getting concerning. There are a lot of things saying Klopp out. You can't say that. You absolutely can't say that to Jurgen Klopp. He's accomplished so much at Liverpool. His recruitment has been absolutely excellent. And he's done a terrific job at Liverpool.
I think, sorry to cut you off, Theo, but I think that the whole Klopp out thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Every manager has a bad patch. I mean, I don't know if there have been multiple times where City have said Guardiola out after he has won in 5 games or he has a bad defeat. You look at other top managers. I think it's just because of the heights he reached last season. He underperforms a bit. He acts like a normal club. Doesn't win 19 matches in a row at home. Isn't undefeated for 3 years at home. He acts like a normal manager. He has his ups and downs, and so people aren't used to that, and they're immediately pouncing on their tracks to say Klopp out. Very, very volatile fan base, but also football fan base. Yeah, but continue, Theo.
Yeah. So Everton doing well, Liverpool not so well. Moving on, Tottenham, they do actually have Harry Kane back in the last couple of games. They brought him back against West Brom last Sunday. And, well, it's not helping them at all. Harry Kane didn't even score the goal, and West Ham have triumphed at the London Stadium. It's a big derby win, and West Ham are now in the top 4. That's huge for them. Chelsea moved on to 5th, and I believe they are 2 points clear of Chelsea. I'd say they got a bit of breathing room, and as far as I'm concerned, they're doing really, really well. So David Moyes is doing a terrific job there. And then Man City, they are just steamrolling. We were talking about how they were running away with it in our last episode, and we were talking about how they were going to have a really, really difficult run coming up at them, weren't we? and then, um, well, they've absolutely destroyed everybody who's walking to their path. Liverpool, they've done Arsenal, they beat Tottenham. Let's check because they've had a really difficult run as of late, and they've done superbly. Man City, let's check because they have beaten Arsenal, they beat Everton, they beat Tottenham, and who's that? And they also beat Swansea in the cup as well. But the point is that they still have West Ham on the weekend, and that should be a great game as well. But they won all of those games, and champions win those games. And I'm getting kind of flashbacks from that 18 win run from Pep Guardiola that I got in that 17-18 season where they were absolutely remarkable Centurions. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, Man City doing very, very well. But Adam, take us on to our Champions League.
Well, what a week we had in the Champions League. That was only 2 days, and one of our hot topics, we'll be talking about this, but I'll start with Barcelona, also much like Liverpool, maybe even worse than Liverpool, really, really struggling. Unlike Liverpool, they're actually struggling in the Champions League. I think the Liverpool's gamble can be in the Champions League because that's where they've been remotely showing sparks of brilliance. Anyway, I digress. Barcelona lost 4-1 to PSG at the Nou Camp. Mbappe hat-trick, scintillating performance, absolutely unstoppable, versatile, variety of goals, absolutely glorious performance from him. And then Porto, Portuguese champions, beat Juventus 2-1 at the Estádio do Dragão. That was definitely an upset, although there was some VAR controversy. Undeniably, I think there should have been a penalty for Juventus at the end of the game. That could have been a lot different. But yeah, as we know, Juventus, and particularly Ronaldo, especially Ronaldo, is the type of man who plays well but stays quiet first leg, and second leg becomes rejuvenized, prime Ronaldo, absolutely tears up the opponent. Any analysis on any of them, Theo?
Well, Barcelona are just horrendous. At this point, it looks like any team could go to the Nou Camp and absolutely destroy them. They're in disarray. Messi is looking off of it, and whether he can even continue to play the top flight once he gets out of this blip, I'm not even sure. And we'll get to that next. But yeah, Mbappe, absolute class on that night. I was most impressed with the first goal. Those quick touches inside the area to outmaneuver Piqué and Longley in the middle, that was world class. And the finish as well, so composed yet so powerful. And he was really very, very, very clinical on that day. I think he had maybe four. I want to say 4 shots and 3 goals, maybe 5. But a really clinical performance, and a hat-trick against Barcelona. First time I played them, great performance. And then we had Porto, who have got something to defend when they travel to Turin next week. So, goal at the beginning of both halves, sloppy from Juventus, poor from both restarts, and, well, they got to go back, and, well, they've got to really pull out one of those classic Champions League performances against Porto. If they're on their day, they should be able to, get it back, but you never know. If Porto pull off the same defensive performance and attacking clinicality, then, I would put my money on Porto to see out Juventus, and Juventus, big hitter, out early. Well, it'll be interesting to see. But Adam, do take us on to our first hot topic out of 2.
So the first hot topic is the end of an era. This is a question. Are Ronaldo and Messi passing on the baton of the best two footballers undisputed in the world, slowly passing it on, or not slowly, to Mbappe or Haaland? Before we get into this conversation, Theo, I think something we overlooked was the fact that Haaland also netted a brace for Dortmund in the Champions League. I'm just wanting to check who it was against.
Yeah, it was Sevilla.
Sevilla.
Away from home.
And then he netted another brace, I believe, against Schalke. So he is a man in form. By the way, the first one was a acrobatic bicycle kick from him. So clearly taking a page out of both Zlatan and with all of the greats still capable of the magic.
Yeah, and I think what's important to also note is that even though Mbappe and Haaland are amazing players, what's more great and interesting is that there are so many other young players coming through the ranks in so many countries that look so very promising. And the thing is, we've had this very narrow scope in the past where we've had one or two, but in 10 years we're gonna have 20 or 30 absolutely world-class players at that level of Messi, at that level of Ronaldo. And that's going to be incredibly exciting. What's happening with Mason Mount? What's happening with Curtis Jones? What are we going to get from, let's see.
Alphonso Davies, Alexander-Arnold, the fullback.
Exactly. Absolute class players. Can Ferran Torres do anything? Phil Foden. Ansu Fati. Pedri of Barcelona, who's looking pretty promising.
Sancho. The list goes on.
Exactly. I mean, there's probably
Greenwood.
Rashford. There's just tons of players that I'm probably missing out right now. But just so many class acts in the future. And, even though Mbappe and Haaland are so good, there are also so many other great players. And I think, I don't think Messi can return to the quality that we've seen from him in the past. I think Messi will be in the next year or two. He'll be out of the picture. Ronaldo, I think, still has that consistency that Messi has lost. And that's why I think that's why Ronaldo is better at the moment. But again, Ronaldo can't do it forever. This is probably his last few years as well. Maybe one or two, and then who knows? He'll probably do a classic MLS move. Rumors of Messi going to Inter Miami, and So yeah, Adam, any other final notes before we go into the last fall topic?
I think it concludes our point. And then last one. This is really Liverpool'S woes. Well, Theo, this is coming from a Liverpool fan perspective, who over the past year or two has seen Liverpool through them like a knife through hot butter. The era of dominance actually came in the 2017-18 campaign, when Liverpool made it to the final and now missed out. Next year, they 97 points in the Premier League, came second. Even with that, I already knew they were a special team. On top of that, they won the Champions League. Following season was the glory season, 99 points, and I think it was a 9-game unbeaten run. The game victory rate, which ended with a draw, I believe. Anyway, so now Liverpool are in they've been inconsistent. The classic word to describe Liverpool previously was the consistent team. Find a way to win, regardless. They seem to have lost that edge. Will they refine it? I think the performances they've had recently, if you look at them, some of them have been subpar, others have been unlucky, and others have been the Liverpool we know and love, or at least Liverpool fans know and love. I think the Everton game was undeniably capable of. Leicester subpar, Liverpool subpar, Brighton, that was really subpar, but also a bit unlucky. And then if you look before that, 3-3-1 wins against West Ham and Tottenham consecutively. I think what that shows is that they can actually play against the big teams, and they're just on a rough patch right now. 4 defeats on the trot in the Premier League. Hopefully they can refine their form in an easier game against Sheffield before they play Chelsea. I think that there is no need for a vaccine for Liverpool. I think that, as with many people who are infected with COVID, they go through a rough patch where they're bedbound, they're quite ill, but hopefully they shall recover and be as strong as ever. Theo, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I don't want to say too much about Liverpool. I know that's one close to your heart, Adam. And you know Liverpool a lot better than I do. So you're the one with the more valid perspective. But as you said, yeah, Liverpool have been great. They really have. And it's a blip. And what I want for Klopp is not for the same thing that happened to Frank Lampard. Because, I mean, and it's also a completely different context. Frank Lampard had no previous experience. He had no previous success. So, I mean, Liverpool and the world just needs to respect Jurgen Klopp for his success and his trophies and his tactics. And soon enough, Liverpool will be back on the winning trail. I'm sure of it.
Well, I think on that note, we can conclude our podcast, Theo.
Absolutely.
Nothing more to say from either party. So, it's currently the evening. Good evening for me. Enjoy the rest of your day, depending on when you're listening to this. So that's goodbye from me and goodbye from Theo.
Bye-bye, everyone. Take care.